Weaving a Tapestry of Knowledge, for the Portuguese Textile Design Education. By Sonia Seixas, Johnny Montagna, and Maria João Felix from Portugal, with special acknowledgement to FCT, CIAUD, and Lisbon School of Architecture from Universidade de Lisboa. The purpose of this exploratory study is to weave through the threads of knowledge a deep and reflective understanding of Portuguese higher education, specialized in textile design. The society of the 21st century is increasingly characterized by intensive information and knowledge processes, which is reflected in the need to develop skills capable of dealing with the challenges of the planet. Work teams are increasingly polyphonic and interweave different disciplines in the search for solutions to ever more complex problems. The Portuguese textile industry remains an important pillar of the country's social and economic weave. This industry is undergoing a renewal process due to the amount of waste produced and the resulting unfavorable impact on the environment. In this sense, the textile designer plays an important role, as part of the environmental impact of textile objects is determined in the creative process. Fabric is more than a surface, it is a three-dimensional universe with inseparable properties and characteristics, in which the inside and the outside tell interwoven stories. Textile designer must learn to work through experimentation and practice, and this requires not only creative skills, but also a deep understanding of materials, production processes, and technology. In Portugal, there is no undergraduate courses specialized in textile design. Of the 8 Portuguese undergraduate offers in textile and fashion design, only 2 deal with the universe of textile design, the course in Fashion and Textile Design of ISART and the course in Fashion and Textile Design and Production of ISMAT. The creative process of a textile object is complex. So, textile designer needs to have knowledge that encompasses not only the aesthetic and creative components of design, but also the technical component. Textile design, cross borders. When weaving yarns and colors, it involves more than just the fashion industry. It spans a multitude of design areas, from decorative elements to everyday objects, and unfolds into a tapestry of possibilities. As different technologies and approaches evolve, textile designers need to incorporate sustainability and circular economy concerns into their creative process. They must now also consider the origin of materials throughout the creative process, which makes their role more complex, but also more challenging. Society in the 21st century is being transformed by profound and rapid changes. It is increasingly influenced by intensive information and knowledge processes, which means that skills need to be developed to meet the challenges facing our planet. Society expects individuals who are increasingly critical, independent, and emotionally prepared to solve problems effectively in a variety of contexts. And this contributes to a paradigm shift in education. Today's students are oriented towards rapid technological progress, which means that existing teaching learning models need to be re-evaluated. New forms of teaching are emerging, such as distance learning and blended learning, which are challenging the traditional educational model that has characterized the higher education system. Design requires multidisciplinary collaboration to do justice to complexity and should forge close links with other fields of knowledge. It is important to train students to apply theoretical and practical knowledge in a real-life environment in system based on learning by doing. Designers must be encouraged to be culturally conscious, socially responsible, and proactive. Educational approaches are sought that can support textile designers in navigating the transformation of the industry, the planet, and society. There are currently 8 undergraduate courses in the field of textile and fashion design in Portugal, 4 of which are public and 4 are private. Only 2 courses include the terminology textile. The undergraduate course in fashion and textile design from ISART, and the undergraduate course in fashion and textile design and production from ISMET. None of the offerings focus exclusively on the field of textile design, but all address the field of fashion design in parallel. Even the most recent offering, 2023, is entitled Sustainable Fashion Design. A detailed analysis of the syllabus of the courses that include textile design at ISART and ISMET reveals that even in these courses, the field of textile design is only covered superficially. In a percentage ratio between curricular units and European credit transfer and accumulation system, ISART comprises 16.67% and ISMET 7.22% of the curricular units that cover textile design. According to this analysis, it can be concluded that students integrating these undergraduate courses are better prepared to enter the fashion and clothing industry than the textile industry. "12 interviews were conducted with experts from the area under study to understand whether it is appropriate and relevant to introduce a teaching learning model for textile design in the Portuguese higher education system, and to identify the fundamental skills that this professional needs to acquire in order to practice its profession." The results show that the textile designer must acquire a wide range of knowledge. Mastery of technical aspects such as textile materials and processes in combination with the design field is essential. The interviewees pointed out how important it is for future textile designers to have management and planning skills in order to be able to respond to the demands of the market and society when practicing their profession. Transversal skills play a fundamental role, as the designer does not work in isolation, but collaborates in a team with other professionals. The interviewees emphasized the importance of the textile designer being able to design textiles. This means not only having a creative streak, but also possessing practical knowledge and the ability to apply it effectively. To this end, interviewees mentioned the importance of finding forms of collaboration between industry, knowledge centers, and academia to enable the implementation of internships and small immersions in companies during the academic pathway, even at an early stage. This will allow the students to know the companies, understand how they work and what their concerns are. Due to technological advances and changes in the textile industry, it has proven to be important to have a higher education in textile design in Portuguese territory in order to respond to the current and future needs and challenges of the sector. In light of this feedback, we have profiled the textile designer. Thus, it is considered that the textile designer is the professional who, autonomously, has the competence to understand the professional context and the practice of textile design. It is important to apply teaching strategies that allow students to approach contexts that are closer to reality, but without losing the reference lines of a comprehensive design education. In this way, some considerations have been outlined in the form of a guideline that can be included in a teaching learning model for textile design. It is important to include active teaching learning strategies that focused on learning by doing and reflection in action with a project-based learning approach and work with real-world problems. Learning through reflection is not about what happens to the students. Rather, it is about what the students can do with what has happened to them. Design is an activity where teamwork is essential, so it should start in the academia. In this sense, a curricular unit that integrates 2 teachers with complementary profiles, one focused more on design and the other on textile materials, in a multi- and interdisciplinary vision, will teach students the importance of teamwork, collaborative work, and adaptability. Various active learning strategies should be considered, such as boot camps, seminars, workshops, mini-internships, company and fair visits, factory labs, teaching factories and others, so that in addition to acquiring specific skills, students learn to communicate, work in teams, share ideas, be independent and responsible. It will strengthen the role of the designer in their ability to collaborate and communicate, to empathize, and to link design knowledge with other fields of knowledge. Against this background, the question arises as to whether it makes sense to establish a textile design undergraduate course at higher education Portuguese in order to train professionals who can help the textile industry overcome the challenges it faces. Promoting collaboration between academia and industry through a shared teaching approach is key to providing future textile designers with the opportunity to complete internships and participate in collaborative projects to learn about the real challenges of this industry. This partnership not only integrates students into the professional environment, but also strengthens the links between academia, industry, and creativity. Through the threads of knowledge, this exploratory study concludes that there is room for a higher teaching learning model for textile design in Portugal. One way forward could be shared education between academia and industry. However, for this to happen, it is essential to strengthen the links and enable teaching learning strategies that are grounded in the real world. In this way, future textile designers can better understand technological boundaries through a collaborative dialogue between creativity and production. It is believed that the most important contribution to design with this exploratory study was the possibility of identifying ways to construct a teaching learning model in textile design to prepare future textile designers as agents of industry transformation. Investing in specialized training in this field can help cultivate a stronger and more sustainable textile ecosystem. The designer is not only a creator of objects, but also an agent of change for a more responsible future. We plan to continue this exploratory study for future studies to understand what the most effective strategies are to weave a teaching learning model for textile design, promoting also the advancement of knowledge in this field in Portugal. Thank you.